twist, take it, hold it, twist, take it, hold it. Ooh.
In today's video, I'm going to show you how to add a nice finishing touch to your projects using the fringe. Fringe is one of those small details that makes a huge impact, and it's actually one of my favorite ways to add just a lovely cozy touch to my projects. I'm going to be showing you several fringe techniques and walk you through when and where to use each one. So grab your yarn scraps and let's dive in. So before we get into the techniques, let's talk about the materials you need to make the fringe. You're going to need some yarn or yarn scraps. I really like using yarn scraps for adding fringe. So I have this jar where I keep all my scraps, doesn't matter the weight. And when I need to make a fringe, I just dive in there to figure out if I have the color or not before I go into my yarn pile. Most people use a hook to make their fringe, but I like using this large hook right over here. I have 3 different sizes. I have one that I'll need to use for thicker weight yarn, maybe worsted weight yarn or chunky yarn. I have one for DK yarn, and I have one for smaller projects. If I need to add maybe fringe or even hair to my amigurumi, I like using this really tiny one. You can get large hooks in craft stores. You can also get them in most beauty shops. I think they have large hooks. Beauty shops that sell extensions or maybe weaves also have a large hook. And even stores that sell knitting machines or knitting machine spares also have the large hook, because I know it's a piece used in their knitting machine. You're also obviously going to need your scissors for this project. Another thing that you're going to need when making your fringe is actually the base that you're going to use to wrap your yarn around. You can use a cardboard box or a book, preferably one that has an indent over here to make it easier for you to cut your strings. So let's start with the basic fringe technique. This is the easiest and most commonly used fringe technique. All you'll need is your yarn, your scissors, your crochet hook or your latch hook, and the piece you're working with. So the first thing you'll need to do is figure out how long you want your fringe. For example, let's say you want them to hang about 6 inches. The easiest way to do this is to find a book with that length. If that is not an option, you can cut out the length from a firm piece of cardboard box. Remember, fringe will hang at half the length you cut. So let me show you an example with this book. You're going to take it and you're going to start winding your yarn around it. And as you're winding your yarn, you want to make sure they don't overlap too much, because then that will change the length of the yarn pieces. So you just want to wind carefully until you have roughly as much as you'll need. I think I'm going to cut it up here. So when you do, you cut your yarn. You take your pair of scissors, and on the end that has these yarn ends, you're going to cut it. Maybe look for sharp scissors as well. So now you have your yarn strips that you can use to attach on your piece. I'm using a different colored yarn, so it would make it very easy for you to see how to do this. So it depends on how thick you want your fringe. You can use one piece of yarn or hold them both together. But I like just using one piece of yarn so that the edge of the fabric doesn't get misshapen as I do the fringe. So you'll take your piece and you fold it in half like so to form a loop right here. You're going to take your latch hook and you're going to insert it where you want your fringe to be. Put the loop on the hook and pull it through. And this is why I like the latch hook, because once you start pulling it through, it closes on the yarn loop, so it makes it easier to actually bring it in. You see? And there you have it. Let's do another example. Take your yarn, you fold it in half, put it on the latch hook, pull it through, and you pull this through. So once you get the hang of it, you're going to move really fast. And what you want to do as you're inserting this fringe, you want to make sure that the right side of your crochet piece is actually facing you, so that you have a nice finish. You see, it looks like a single crochet, which matches your pattern piece. But that's just a matter of preference. You can as well use this other side if you prefer and have the wrong side facing you. Ignore all the ends. So again, you take your yarn piece, fold it in half, insert your large hook into the place where you want to insert your fringe, then pull up the yarn and secure it. You don't want to tighten it too much, just tighten it enough so that it doesn't come off when you're washing your piece. One more time. You take your yarn, you fold it in half. Once you have inserted your latch hook in the place that you want your fringe, you pull the loop on the latch hook, pull it through, and pull that through and tighten it gently. So you can see our fringe has started taking shape, and it creates a simple but clean fringe that works beautifully on scarves, on blankets, on wraps. And I've even used this technique in my crochet wall art hanging. You can find the pattern for that linked in the description box. One encouraging tip that I'll have for you as you're working your fringe is not to stress about perfection. You'll notice that as you're inserting your pieces of yarn, some of them might be longer and some of them might be shorter. But fringe is very forgiving. You can always trim up these pieces to even things out later, or even add a funky shape to it, or even leave it as is to have a nice boho vibe. Now let's elevate things a little with a twisted fringe. The twisted fringe gives a more polished and decorative look to your piece, and it's perfect for lightweight shawls or anything fancier, or just something like this crochet blanket where you have a lot of ends and actually don't want to darn them in. So what I like to do is to just twist them up to give them that nice finish. And for these ones, you can see I just wanted a sparse fringe. I didn't want them to be clamped together because the blanket itself is dense. So I just twisted up the ends and then tied a knot at the end so that they can be secure. What you want to do is, if you plan to add a twisted fringe to your project, to actually leave a good enough length before you start your piece, and even after you finish the row, you leave a good enough length that you can use to twist up later. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a small piece of fringe, but if that's what you're going for, then all good. Have fun with it. So for the twisted fringe, you're going to attach your fringe the same way as the basic version, and once you have your fringe all attached, you're going to separate ends into two groups. As you can see over here, they're already separated into two groups, but you can decide that you want to make the twisted fringe a bit thicker. So you want it to be a bit thick like this, so you're holding it in two groups like this. Or maybe you want it even thicker than that, so you can hold it into two groups like that. It depends on your preference, really. I've added another color right at the end over here so that you can actually see the twisted effect as you work on it. So you're going to take two pieces. Let me take these two that are different colors. And what you're going to do is take the piece that is on your right and take it over to the left. And you want to do this as tightly as you can without compromising the fabric or your fringe. So you're going to twist on the right, you twist it up. The one on your right, you take it to your left. This one, you take it to the left. This piece, you take it to the left. And I also like adding the twisted fringe because this is mostly how I do my hair. So it's easier for me. Once you get the hang of it, you're really going to be moving fast. You can see you can even use one hand. And what I like to do to add a bit of texture to it is just twist up the piece a little bit in the opposite direction, then take it. So for this one, you twist a bit on the right, take it to the left. Twist a bit to the right, take it to the left. Twist a bit to the right, take it to the left. A bit to the right, take it to the left. And you're going to repeat this all the way till the end. Let me show you how I usually work it. I need to hold this down so that it doesn't move so much. So twist it a bit to the right, take it to the left, twist it, take it, and you're going to use your left hand to hold the piece that is not being used or twisted. So you twist, take it to the side, hold it with your left hand, twist, take it to the left, hold it with your left hand, twist, take it, hold it, twist, take it, hold it, twist, take it, hold it,
Twist, take it, hold it. 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 Ooh, twist, take it, hold it. Twist, take it, hold it. Twist, take it, hold it. Oh, twist, take it, hold it. 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 Twist, take it, hold it.
And when you get close to the end, what you're going to do is you want to tie a knot. Now, to tie your knot, you're going to make sure that the last twist you did is right in the middle of your first finger, right in the middle of it, like that. Then you're going to form your knot. Oh, I might have gone a bit too far. Let's try and see if we can still tie a knot. And there you go. The nature of the twist is it will want to unravel. So if you do it tightly, it's going to just pop up a bit, just unravel a bit, but then it's going to have its structure, and there we have it. You see? You see, this is the area where I started twisting, and this was before the twisting right here. So you can also see why I like twisting if I want a tight finish. But if you don't want a tight finish and want your fringe to look a bit loose, you can also not twist as you're working the fringe. Just take it to the left and hold it. Take it to the left and hold it. And there you have it, a lovely twisted fringe. So you've also seen the mistake I made as I was getting too close, probably having too much fun. What you don't want to do is get too close to the end, because that could cause a lot of problems. So just tie your knot, not too far from the end. Yes, yes. And you see how elegant that looks? It keeps the strands tidy, and it adds a bit of structure also to your piece. And this is perfect if you have nice lacy drapey project, or as I'd told you before, you have a project like this one that just has too many color changes for you to actually weave in the ends. You can just do the twisted fringe, and if you find an area that has a bit of a gap, like let's say this area over here, maybe you think this gap is too fat, you can work the basic fringe right here and then twist the two strands so that you can make the twisted fringe clamp closer together. Yes, yes. It takes a bit of time, but it's so worth it. And honestly, once you start working it, you get the rhythm of it, it's going to go fast. And honestly, it's such a relaxing way to finish off your projects, and it has a nice, relaxing rhythm to it. So we are going into the third and final style of adding a fringe to your project, and it's the knotted fringe. And this style is great if you're going for a boho. And this style is great, especially if the piece you're using doesn't have a lot of pattern, doesn't have a lot of texture, and preferably is worked in one color, because then it will make everything tie in together, and it will also make the fringe stand out. You're going to start with the basics and actually insert the basic fringe on your piece, but what you don't want to do is to make them so close as these ones are. You're going to want to leave a space between each fringe, or a considerable amount of length between each one of them. Let me just remove a bit of these pieces so that you can see what I'm talking about. So I've removed some of my pieces and spaced them out a little so that I can teach you this technique. So as I said before, you're going to start off with the basic fringe and attach it to your piece. So working in small groups, you're going to do a simple knot a few inches down. So you're going to take maybe these two pieces and you're going to work just a simple knot. This is where it gets its name. It's the knotted fringe. See? Then you're going to take two other pieces and trying to keep the knots as aligned as you can. Then you're going to take another two pieces and work your knot. And the thing about working your knot is you can usually adjust it if you're not so tight in the beginning. So you see the way it's loose, and you say I want my finished knot to align with this one. You can just slowly move it up before you tighten it. So you tie your knot in the general area that you'd want it. Then you slowly pull it up to align with the others. You can see it's starting to take shape. Take two pieces tie a knot in the general area. Move it up a bit, and there you have it. And you can see how it's taking up such a lovely shape. And this is great for lacy projects, especially shawls, or maybe even if you're working on a table runner. Oh, and maybe a bag. Like a bag would be so nice with this one. Like if it's a nice single colored bag, it would look really nice. Maybe I should design something. It looks really nice. So you can leave it there, or for an extra detail, tie a second row of knots using strands from the two neighboring groups. You see this was one group and another group, and we actually used a strand from each of the groups. You're going to do something similar with this one. Now, since these two strands are now a group, we are going to separate them and tie a knot. So you tie a knot, and then you take this one and one from the next group, and you tie a knot. You see, you take this one and one from the next group, and you tie a knot. I'll try to move it up. Yes, you see, it's taking shape. You take this one and one from the next group, and you tie a knot. Take one from the next group again, and you tie a lovely knot. So you can see, I think I made a bit of a mistake over here with the tightness, but you can see the general idea of it. It creates a beautiful lattice or a net-like look and adds a bit of texture and interest to your piece. So you can understand why I told you that. For this look, you want your piece to be one colored so it can actually draw attention to the fringe, and it's so lovely. You can play with spacing, number of strands, and even knot styles. And this applies to all the different types of fringe I've showed you, from the basic fringe to the twisted fringe and even this knotted fringe. The more you experiment, the better you become at it, and the more unique your project becomes. So I want to go into just a tiny section to tell you where to use your fringe. So you can use them in scarves and shawls, which adds a bit of movement and softness. You can add fringe to your blankets and throws, and it adds character. You can see even with the blanket, I love this blanket. I love it. It adds a bit of character to it. You can also use fringe on your wall hangings, like the eye wall hanging pattern. I've linked it in the description. And you can also use it in garments or bags. You can also add it to garments and bags, and even table runners. If people still make table runners, I think they do. Or even tea cozies, that will look really lovely with this one. Or even those covers people use for covering their. It looks like a tea cozy. I can't remember the name, but I know it's sort of a neshi meti fabric that you use to cover your food or your drinks. That could work well with this one. Or even a placemat or a coaster. But what you need to remember is it's totally optional. Fringe is always optional. Don't stress yourself out if it's not your thing, or if you don't have too much practice. Or even if you're starting out, just start with the basic fringe and work your way up to these other fringe styles. Just a bit of practice, maybe on your pieces or on your swatches, and embrace it. Embrace the learning process. And I hope this gives you fresh ideas and confidence to try something new with your projects. Fringe might be the last step, but it can totally transform the look of your piece. If you want to try out fringe techniques, how about you try this pattern and maybe even this one? All of them linked in the description box.
Twist it, take it to the side and hold it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Twist it, take it to the side and hold it. Twist it, take it to the side and hold it. Twist it, take it to the side and hold it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Twist it, take it to the side and hold it. Twist it, take it to the side and hold it.